What's up, guys? So it's time to continue with the Iron Brago testing, but I actually built several other champions as well. I kind of tried them earlier today when I was doing other stuff and I wasn't making a video. And I had kind of mixed results, but some of the fights I won against even pretty good teams with some of my, what you might consider a bit of like troll picks. But basically I built Ramantu, Samson, and what else did I build? Yeah, I think that's it. We're gonna go with Iron Brago, Ramantu, and Samson today, along with the stuff that I usually pick. I need to put champion tag to the Iron Brago. But yeah, the Iron Brago, not Iron Brago, I mean Samson. So Samson is HP scaling champion, which is basically kind of like budget Taras. Like, he kind of has very similar skills to Taras, but it's just like a lot worse. But he is kind of okay, so I did build him and book him. He isn't kind of fully booked because I ran out of books, but he's good enough to use. And he is Spirit Affinity, so I meet a lot of like Ukkos, UDKs and Harimas that I struggle against, so I hope that he will be kind of okay against it, but we will see. I was also thinking that it might be kind of interesting. Actually, in this team we could try to go with the triple nuker team. Yeah, well, let's not decide it yet, but let's start with where is Samson? Yeah, I really need to put champion tag on him, or I'm gonna miss some time to pick again. But actually, I will go through his kit after this fight, but I would say it's very similar to Taras actually. But he's HP scaling champion with like AoE nuke, and he also has a counter attack mechanic and damage mitigation mechanic, but it is very hard to kill teams that have like tanky revivers and Harima. He will not do like insane damage, but maybe we can make it work. And it might be kind of interesting combination to like use him with Iron Brago. Like, I guess then he could be pretty tanky. Let's try this for fun and see how it goes. Definitely I want to ban Harima. I mean, there's no... I have learned my lesson. Yesterday there was one fight where I banned UDK, and I definitely should have banned Harima, and it kind of bit me, but I will not make that mistake again, I hope. But yeah, let's just see how this off-meta picks goes. Like, Samson was kind of better than I thought before I tried. Not that he's like insane, but he was pretty good. I did maybe like 10 fights and I lost 3 of them, so it was kind of okay win ratio, but some of the teams were very good also, that I thought. Let's just start with the A2 so we get the increased defense from Brago. And I also thought that like going with triple nuker might be interesting combination, because if they ban Rotos, oftentimes I just struggle in having enough damage to kill them. But maybe if I always have 2 nukers, then I might not have that issue. I guess I can also cleanse the stun, which is very nice. And now when I have like Iron Brago that gives everybody defense, and then I have another HP scaling nuker, my team is very tanky. I mean, it's nothing compared to Harima passive, but it is like a big increase. Like, I guess my entire team gets like, I don't know, 600 defense or something, so that's a decent amount. So Samson A2 is like his main nuke, and it hits twice if it gets a kill, but we're not gonna get a kill here. And it also removes increased defense on enemies, which is kind of interesting, but he also has stun on his A1, like Taras, and he has like counter attack mechanic. Like, if he gets hit, there is 50% chance that he will hit back, and if he gets crit on, then he will always like counterattack. So it is kind of interesting. And his A3 like grants him an extra turn and gives him increased accuracy and increased crit damage. Or I guess it gives increased accuracy to the entire team. And I was thinking that I didn't use it at the start of the fight because I don't think it would have made any difference. But now I will kind of use it after I used his AoE nuke, kind of to try to reduce the cooldown of this. And this skill is fully booked, but the A3 isn't, so I will get lower cooldown on this later. But let's hope we can stun the Taras. Like, if I can stun this Taras, I think we will be pretty good. But if not, then I might lose it. Yeah, and the A1 isn't fully booked either, so he doesn't have the full like chance to stun the target. I don't think Iron Brago has enough damage to kill this Taras. Like, he doesn't even have increased defense, so I think there's no way. I mean, he's kind of low HP, but and he doesn't have strength, and so maybe there's a chance. Probably not. Yeah, kind of close though. Almost died. I think I'm still gonna lose this fight. Yeah, there was the Samson passive again. Like, that wasn't revenge accessories. It's just his passive. Nice. I guess I did win this fight. It was kind of close though. Like, maybe I should have tried this fight with the slow Duchess instead of the stone skin Duchess. Like, this one is fast and not super tanky, and his XP stone skin. And the other one is like very slow and in bolster, what I use in arena defense. Now I think I will kill the Nakarada, and if he does kill somebody, then this skill hits twice, and then it hits like fairly hard. Okay, I didn't get the kill. If I got the kill, everybody but the Duchess would have died. That's too bad. But probably, I mean, definitely Taras, I mean, Turbo should die here, yeah. He doesn't have any buffs. I don't think this is really like top tier team with Turbo as the nuker, but it is pretty good team, so it is kind of nice to see that I stand some kind of chance against like a team like this with this kind of off-meta meme team. And I also have a Ramantu that is like, it's not actually like full, I mean, it's a nuker Ramantu, but it is in 6p stone skin with a bit of accuracy, so it can't really one-shot targets. Like, I think I will probably try a nuke build later as well, but the issue is that if I go like lethal on him, then I pretty much always have to use stone skin. I mean, not stone skin, I have to use Nakarada, or he doesn't survive any of the hits. And I was thinking that if I run this team, then I could often like use triple nukers. Like, I have three options, like Iron Brago, Samson, Rotos. Then I also have like Initve and Ramantu, and I will probably often pick 3 of them this time. Like, I'm kind of experimenting. Instead of always using like 2 revivers, 2 nukers, and then Ukko, Nakarada or Cardiel. Now I'm also trying some fights with triple nuker. But I guess this like this is very shaky. I didn't totally stomp this team, and I'm having big trouble killing that tanky Duchess. Maybe this would have gone better though if I picked the bolster Duchess. I will try it next time. It is way tankier than this one. And Samson was kind of unlucky before, because if he just had killed one target, then the skill would have done double damage. And he had multiple champions in the team with very low health, but nobody died, so... But I guess like Brago and Samson have kind of decent synergy together, because Samson is potentially stunning a lot of targets, and Brago is giving him a bit of defense, because he's HP scaling nuker, but he doesn't have like very high defense on him, so getting a bit defense helps him a lot. And he has a passive that reduces the damage that he takes by 20%, so it's not quite like Taras, but it is a decent amount. Actually, it is conditional 20%, but let's look at it after this fight. So it's not even close to like half of how good Tara's passive is, but it's a bit similar still. I think we might still lose this fight. I was kind of thinking I'm good, but this Turbo is definitely gonna get turn, I think. And he's gonna kill one of them. Well, he doesn't have attack buff. Unless he has it off cooldown, then maybe he doesn't even kill anybody. We will see. So yeah, you could use this so that you do the A3 first to get 30% increased damage for the A2, but I don't think that's very like big difference often, so I'm only using this A3 to basically like reduce the cooldown of the A2, and now it's like I will have it back next turn, so. But this is getting very risky with this Ukko, like potentially stunning both of them in one turn. Yeah, this is kind of the issue that these champions kind of have a good synergy on paper, but nobody has like insane amount of damage, so it isn't like running like one of those main champion options like Protoss, Taras or Harima. Or of course, even something like Georgid or Baron would do even way more damage. But this is an option, like, I guess maybe you can do something like this if you don't have Necret. I mean, I could use Necret, but now I'm kind of exploring other options without him. But yeah, this fight is very close. I wonder if I just pick like Initve and Necret, maybe it would have been easier, I'm not sure. But it is still a pretty good team, so it was nice to win against a team like this. And it could have gone a lot better, but let's quickly look at Samson kit, because it is pretty new champion. Like, of course, I wish I would have gotten Harima instead of him, but not during this like 2 guaranteed legendary event, but on the last event that was like a month ago, where it was 2 legendaries on sacreds if you pull one, and I actually happened to get this and Duchess, which was insane pull. And yeah, I instantly knew that I'm gonna try this, but I wasn't like, I didn't have insane expectations for this champion, so I leveled him to 6 star, but I kind of didn't book him yet. But then yesterday I was like, fuck it, like, he might still be better than my other options, so I'll book him, but I did run out of book, so he isn't fully booked, but I will book him when I can. So if we look at his passive, it decreases the damage this champion receives from critical hits by 20%, counterattacks the attacker when hit with critical hit, so it is very similar to Tara's passive, but it's conditional and less crit damage, but then it also has 50% chance to counterattack even if it doesn't get crit, if it's just other type of hit. And 20% damage reduction is decent. It is not really enough to survive something like Baron, but oftentimes it can make the difference because he's a HP scaling champion. And of course the big thing with this is how good A1 does he have, because he does counterattacks with his passive. And his A1 is basically almost the same as Tara's, like, not the same, but like, it's some mixture between Tara's A1 and Tara's A2. Like, of course, Tara's counterattacks with his A2 and not A1. But this is basically the same scaling as Tara's A1. Let me actually show you the numbers. So it's 12% of his max HP, and it hits twice. Oh, no, that's not. That's actually Tara's, not. Let me fix that. Nope. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, Tara's has 12%, he also has 12% damage scaling on A1, and then it has 35% chance to stun, and it books 10% more, so 45%, and it hits twice, so 90% around that number in total. So very often it will stun the enemy. My Samson isn't super high accuracy, but it does have a bit, so hopefully it will stun the enemy nukers. But yeah, he will counterattack with this skill. And the A2 has kind of good scaling. It's like 0.29 of HP. But if it does get killed, it hits twice, which will make it good. Which is very similar to Tara's A3 as well. It's like 0.26, but then it scales 15% more with every buff, and there's gonna be tons of buffs, so this is gonna be multiplied many times. So it's kind of like weaker version, but similar, like conditional, kind of high potential AoE nuke. And it also removes increased defense from enemies, which can be useful sometime, maybe against Siphi teams. Like, I will probably see them a lot and they will be paired with Harima. But of course, with him, polymorph is definitely going to be an issue. And then the A3, like I said before, it gives him, or it gives the entire team increased accuracy buff, and also gives him 30% crit damage. But I'm kind of using this more like to reset the cooldown on his A2. I'm not using this before the A2, but after it, so that I get it back faster. And that makes his A2 basically 2-turn cooldown, which is pretty good. Though it still kind of feels like his damage is a bit lacking, because some of the teams I meet are like so tanky. And I'm kind of... where is the Ramantu? Yeah, I'm kind of memeing with this Ramantu build that is basically a nuke stone skin build. And this doesn't have enough damage to like one-shot Rotoses with A3. But it was very useful in a few fights, and some people were even banning it against me, so I'm kind of seeing if I can make him work. And yeah, okay, we're still in the top 500. Yeah, I think I only got to top 500 last time, but I haven't really dropped in ranking since I played it yesterday, so... But yeah, probably I'm gonna start to meet the same people like all the time nowadays. And probably a lot of like my clan mates who will stomp me and like those kind of people. So basically now I have like bunch of nukers. They are more like B tier nukers, but now I have many options, so maybe I can like make good choices sometimes and like finesse the enemy team, like despite the champion differences. We will see. Ah, damn it. I still forgot to put the champion tags on the Samson, so I have to scroll like all the way here to find it, and I will always have trouble with it. I guess I can use the recently used, but okay. Even that one isn't working properly, so never mind. Another Harima. I guess I'm gonna see Harima every fight. And I thought that the double spirit affinity would be good against Harima, but Harima is so tanky that these kind of like B or C tier nukers kind of have trouble killing her, even if they are like strong affinity against her. But maybe this fight I will actually try the Ramantu nuke. I mean, he does have multiple polymorphs, so do I want to do it? And he has cleanse. Maybe I won't do it. It is so hard to pick a fight at this point when I don't really fully understand the enemy team. Maybe even Initve could be good, though Initve will probably black damage. I'm running out of time. Let's just go with Brocky and Samson. Do I have time to pick Samson? No, okay. I need to get that fixed after this. Well, Kaimar isn't the worst choice, so it will be okay. I'm kind of lucky that... So, if you don't pick in time, it happened to me a couple of times when like the game bugged or DC'd as well. It will pick the highest PP champion you have, and for me it's Kaimar, which isn't really built for this, but it isn't the worst like choice for it to auto-pick for me. But yeah, if I pick Samson now, which I should have picked before, then he will ban my Duchess and I won't have any Reviver, so I really need to pick a Reviver or some kind of tanky support. So that basically means if he bans Rotos, then... damn it. This is not gonna be fun. If he bans Rotos now, then I don't have a lot of damage, but let's just go with this. I kind of went with Cardiel because Cardiel will kind of do a bit of damage and also give me survivability, but me not being able to pick Samson in time is kind of gonna screw me in this fight. I might just not have enough damage to like win this even if I can survive. Well, I guess we can put the Brago to the test, but he has like 3 supports and Leorios, so I think not. We will see. I wonder if I should just... The Leorios is gonna be hit so hard if I probably won't even take him to like 0 HP if I ally attack him now, so let's not hit him. But I still want to go with the A3 first. I'm not really sure if this was the right choice, but let's save the A2 afterwards. Maybe he does the... Yeah, maybe he does the Mitrala A2 now and I can cleanse it. His dodges doesn't look very tanky though, so maybe I do stand a chance against this. But yeah, I'm not gonna hit the Leorios now. I'm just gonna hit him afterwards. Unless, like, assuming he doesn't totally stomp me here, this is gonna be a very long fight because... Well, it's not gonna be a long fight because I can't survive, but I will have a very hard time killing his team, so... Yeah, I think I saved the revive on death at good time, because now when I do the Brago AoE nuke, it will... Like, the Leorios will proc his passive and he's definitely not gonna die to it. So it will be good that I have this to, like, keep my team alive, because now he's gonna hit very hard. We do have the, like, increased defense buff, and I don't think his Duchess has increased defense, so maybe we can kill the Duchess as well. That would be kind of good. I mean, the Leorios is not gonna die. Ah, okay. Even Duchess didn't die. That's kind of a bit disappointing. I wish it would have died there. Nice, we were still able to finish it off. I don't think this can fear... Yeah, it's only fears those kind of like evil factions. It's not gonna fear Leorios. I like this kind of RPG elements that we basically have the like the human or the good faction, then we have those like neutral factions, and then we have the evil factions. Like there is those kind of teams. Like of course, like in different games, it's not like demons are always evil, but you know what I mean. Basically, it's like 3 different alignments. Well, if we are able to kill a team like this with Iron Brago, then I think, like, you can't say that Iron Brago is completely useless, because that will be pretty impressive if we can beat this, but I think it will be incredibly hard to finish off a team like this. That's kind of what I'm fearing. And he doesn't have very, like, the Duchess is not tanky, like, I assume it's probably a resistance build, because the Siphi is actually tankier than the Duchess. But we're actually doing pretty good. I guess we're kind of... It looks almost like we're beating this guy, but I don't want to say that we're defeating him yet, because I feel like it will be hard to finish off this fight. Maybe here's our chance. Maybe Brago has enough damage, like Siphi doesn't have any buffs on herself, so... Yeah, kind of close, but not enough. And of course, if he had some kind of like buffs, and he has both Siphi and Mitrala doing them, like, it would have taken way less damage than it did. But it definitely shows that, I mean, I'm still pretty high in the rankings, so assuming, like, I'm sure the ladder is gonna go up, and everybody's gonna be able to, like, climb higher. Hopefully everybody can get to like 4k points if they are in like mid or end game. But if you're not as high as me, then maybe these champions are option. Like maybe Iron Brago is even a viable nuker for you. He does do the self like defense buff, which is kind of interesting. And of course then also Staltus does it as well, but I think the Spirit Affinity does give him like a bit of edge. in the meta of Live Arena, there is so many top tier champions that are either Force Affinity or like Void Affinity, that I think Spirit Affinity is probably, like of course Void as well, but Spirit or Void is gonna be the best affinity for nukers actually. Rotos is so good that all of the strong Force Affinity champions are used a lot, and actually there's quite a few different good Force Affinity champions. Nice. So we did get both of the revivers killed. So at this point it's a matter of time, and I think since he didn't kill me up to this point, then maybe we can finish the fight. And Leorios is very popular nuker in Live Arena, so you could almost consider him a top tier nuker. I would probably put Leorios in the tier 2 nukers, but he's one of the best tier 2 nukers. I mean, it depends how you scale it, but I will say that like Rotos, Taras and Harima, maybe Georgid as well. Those three are the tier 1 nukers, and then Leorios and Georgid are kind of in between. Maybe they are like on the bottom of tier 1 nukers, or maybe they are on top of tier 2 nukers. But I would maybe put them in tier 2, and then maybe tier 3 is like Heprak and like bunch of other nukers. Baron and so on. Candy. Candy is very good though. He will definitely be... Maybe Candy would be in tier 2 as well. Yeah, not in tier 3. Yeah, I'm already thinking about tier list because it's one of those formats that... I did one video that was kind of a tier list. Not actually, but I ranked some champions. But I definitely need to get on the times and do this type of videos, I guess. Tomorrow I might actually post that video before this video, but I will have a video about farming Frostbite, because I have a good team for it, but on weekend I definitely need to do some kind of tier list about Live Arena. And I will definitely... I know several people were asking me in the comments that when I'm going to make videos about like what kind of gear to keep, and I will definitely do that video or multiple videos of that topic. But I know that I promised it like a couple weeks ago already. And I have talked a bit about it on many videos, but I need to make like own video about that because it's very important topic, and this game is like long-term grind, so if you want to get ahead, it's like very good way to... Like, you want to be efficient in this type of game or in RPG games in general. It's Ukko again. Let's go with the slow dodges this time. This is kind of interesting choice. That, well, probably I should actually use a Necret against Candy. Nah. Fuck. I'm not gonna be slow to pick the champion again. I'm thinking about Samson. Yeah, found it. Let's go with Samson and let's see what he picks, and then let's consider. I could go with my own Ukko here, or there is a few other options, but let's see. Yeah, I think definitely I will go with my own Ukko. And who should I pick as my last champion? It could be another nuker or Cardiel. Let me think about it. Or, of course, it could be Necret. Actually, let's go with Necret. Yeah, Necret is just solid, and I have kind of not used Necret, and it's kind of dumb of me to not use my, like, top champions. And it is actually pretty good, because combination with this Samson, because assuming that he bans the Rotos, which usually, I think... There is multiple choices that he might ban, but I think it's probably still gonna come down to between Rotos or Ukko. It could be Necret too, but I think it's Rotos or Ukko. I will probably ban the Rotos. But if he does... Wait, this is a weird team. If I ban the Candy, then he has no threat. Well, let's ban the Ukko anyway. I hate meeting Ukkos. Oh, interesting. I was gonna say that if he does ban the Rotos, then the Necrot isn't actually protecting the Samson, but it's gonna protect the Ukko. Which is actually pretty good, because Ukko is very squishy, but otherwise he's a very important champion and will be very annoying to the enemy team if he doesn't get locked out in the start. I like this matchup. Like, I could have definitely banned the Candy, but I think that letting him have the Candy in this fight is not the issue for me, actually. I think the Samson is gonna be very annoying to his Candy, I hope. And also, Samson will oftentimes counterattack when that Hegemon hits him with his A1 or A2, but he didn't get hit at all because the Hegemon was polymorphed. I guess I just go... No, the Duchess didn't... No, let's try Duchess. Probably it will just hit reaction, but let's give it a go. Nice. Maybe I should have done A2 instead, but I was kind of panicking and the time was running out. But yeah, basically it looks like we're good at this point. I wonder if Samson can kill him with the A2, because if he does kill him, then he will probably wipe his entire team. Maybe I will actually go with the A3 this time, just to make sure that the Duchess dies, because then I get the double hit and it will do way more damage. Yeah, nice. Usually I will save the A3 after the A2, but I kind of made an exception this time. Wow, this Ukko is gonna get owned by the enemy team if he does his A1, but I kind of don't want to waste the revive, so let's go with the A1. I mean, he might still stun them, so... Yeah, okay. I can still lose this. I can totally lose this fight, though, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Yeah, there was the Samson being strong affinity against the Candy and just tanky champion. I'm not sure if the Valk will die because Rotos have attack down, but okay, good. Yeah, it didn't hit very high. Ah, I had to hit the Hegemon. I like this combination that he has like Candy and Hegemon with Valkyrie. I'm not sure if it's really like a top tier thing, but they have a nice synergy together. I wish they did more like champion rebalances in this game. There's tons of it they could do, because there's all kinds of champions that in like paper they have good synergy and they make sense to use together, but they are just not good champions, and some of the like super OP champions like Rotos or like Harima or Taras, they just always are better anyway, so... But I mean, I'm sure like every game struggles with this issue. But I still think that Plarium definitely could do more champion rebalances. I wish they had some people whose like entire point in this game was to do champion rebalances. Maybe some people that would actually like do arena or like talk with arena players or monitor the like teams that people use in Platinum Arena or something, at least. Well, so far we did pretty good. Like, the fights were like kind of close and I didn't really stomp the enemy teams, but we are getting higher and we're meeting good teams, I guess, so... If it continues like this, then I will be pretty satisfied with the Samson. I mean, his damage does feel a bit low still, but he might be able to even like kill teams with like 2 revivers. Almost. But I think I will probably often pick 3 nukers when I use these kind of champions. With Initve, I don't necessarily need 3 nukers, because if he just can survive long enough to get the kill, then I basically win the fight. Let's go with the slow Duchess. I haven't used her a lot, like, she's my go-to in arena defense. And in here I usually use my faster, like, stone skin Duchess. But if I use champions like defense scaling or HP scaling nukers, or Rotos that doesn't really need attack buff, then I don't always have to use the fast one. But if I do use Initve, then it is kind of hard to use this one. So here he's picking, I feel like many people know my champions, so often people pick like I don't know, 3 to 4 Force Affinity champions against me. So definitely getting the Samson and Brago was a good choice. Should I go without any Reviver? No, let's go with our own Ukko, yeah. I mean, not any Reviver, but 2 Revivers, because if I just pick one, it's almost certain that he will ban the one Reviver that I picked, so... I'm kind of curious, like interested to see what he bans here. I think he's probably not gonna ban Rotos, he will probably ban the Duchess or Necret in this team. Maybe it will be Necret again. No, it was Rotos. Okay, now it's time to put Samson in the test. This will be kind of hard for him actually, because that Rotos might just like wipe me with his like positive affinity and his strong damage. Like Samson might not be able to kill him easily, but if he can survive some Rotos attacks and maybe counter attack him and stun him, then I definitely do have a chance in this fight. I hope. Let's actually see how it goes. I think I maybe have a chance, but it doesn't look very good. I'm always very helpless if the enemy team bans my Rotos, so... In this fight though, Initve would have been good. I mean, I still could have lost with the Ukko stun, but Initve would have totally had this if he just gets one turn. But let's see what Samson can do. He does have the defense buff from Staltus as well, which makes his team very tanky actually. But it is kind of interesting synergy that my Ukko actually does have the Necret buff, so Ukko isn't gonna die anytime soon. So he's gonna be very frustrating to the enemy team. He's stunned and polymorphed. He might even get frostbitten because Samson is in frostbite. He's in 2-piece frostbite and 4-piece lethal. I don't have like insane HP scaling set that uses cruel and lethal, so actually this is kind of my best combination. There's one with like 2 broken pieces from like other one is protection and other one is something else, but it will be slightly more damage than this build, but I went with the frostbite build of course. I don't think it actually does us a lot of good to use the Necret protection on Samson, because he's gonna take a lot of turns with his A3 and he's kind of gonna waste it. And his A1 is like, it's good, but it's not gonna like wipe the enemy team. It's more like annoying them and hopefully getting some stuns. Now the issue, of course, I think this is by the way one thing that they should fix with Polymorph. I'm pretty sure if I kill him with this Samson nuke, it's not gonna double hit because the Polymorph doesn't count as kill. Yeah, it's the same with Rotos as well, that if Rotos kills a Polymorph target, he will not get extra turn, and I assume, like, surely it works like that for all kinds of mechanics that have had those types of interactions. But I'm pretty, like, I think killing the sheep target should count as skill, like, for masteries and skills and everything. I think that's, like, maybe that's a design choice, or maybe it's oversight, I'm not sure. But I think they should change it. So I think probably most of you would agree with me, like, it's not a huge deal, but it is kind of weird that it works like that. So yeah, I'm doing the same thing again, that I'm using the A3, and because he doesn't have any attack buff, or it doesn't make any difference for him anyway, he will kind of lose all the buffs on himself, but also we're gonna lose the debuffs very fast, so he's kind of getting some use out of it, but the enemy keeps having the immunity, so Samson isn't really doing a lot here. Maybe on his next turn if we can... Oh, he died to Rotos. I was thinking that maybe we could have killed the Ukko and maybe it could have snowballed there, but yeah. Samson is gonna have very hard time killing a Rotos, especially if there's like heals in the team. Yeah, that's a loss. We should definitely have picked Initve in this fight. I kind of want to try the new champions, but I also need to like be smart about it, so time to use some of the Initve more. It's kind of hard because with Initve you definitely want to have attack buff in the team, and probably I want to pick like double Duchess or something like that. So, by the way, I did get 2 champions today. Like I pulled 70 Ancients yesterday and I didn't get it, but today I used my couple shards that I got from the boss, clan boss, and I actually did get 2 legendaries, but can we see them? Yeah, they were Iron Brago and Fushan, so not very good, but the Iron Brago will increase my faction guardians, so I can't complain about it. It's one of my long-term goals that I definitely want to fill up the faction guardians eventually. Okay, I think in this fight he has a lot of heals and like revives, so definitely it's time to go with the Initve again. Like I've kind of been neglecting Initve even though he's so good. Maybe I could even consider Ramantu in this fight. Let's go with the double Duchess. Maybe I will pick Nakarada as the last one, or maybe I will pick Ramantu. We will see. Though he does have a lot of polymorph in this team. Sometimes the teams don't have any polymorph, and sometimes they have a lot of it. Like they might not have any blessings or use different ones, so it kind of depends. But yeah, that's why it's good to have like something like Ramantu or Ceres geared. And actually, I forgot to mention it, but I also geared my Ceres, or she was already in a gear that will work in this, but I'm also planning to use her in these kind of fights. Yeah, definitely I'm going with Nakarada, and I think he will probably ban my Nakarada. Yeah, definitely. And this is probably gonna be a loss to us, because that's a very good team that he has. Or, yeah, that's like an insane team, so that's a team that you can win like Platinum Arena Reset rank 1 with, so I just think that I do want to ban the Taras, but I think if I don't ban the Harima, there's just no way that I can ever kill his team. But let's ban the Taras now. This is gonna be an incredibly long fight. Oh boy, but I don't think I can kill him. We will see. Definitely the choice was to ban one of the nukers, but with even Nakarada being in that team, it's gonna be very hard to finish this fight. And Initve can't crit on Harima, so I can't kill Harima first, which I kind of want to do. So, I mean, I can kill him if I kill him with Rotos, but not with Initve. I think I'll go with the A2 and not A3, because even if it weak hits, then I'm still gonna get some of the HP. Oh, never mind. I forgot that he has the UDK. Well, let's just do the A2, A3, but this is not gonna do any damage because he has 3 champions in Stone Skin, and it can't crit on Harima because of her passive. So the Harima is very low HP and not protected by Nakarada, so it is kind of killable, but with Initve and Rotos, it's very hard to kill it. But I think if I picked Iron Brago or Samson, they just wouldn't have enough damage to kill this team through the other champions. So let's save this A2 for later. But yeah, definitely the fights are getting a lot harder at this point. It's not very easy to me anymore. And not just that they have good champions, but like the builds are starting to be a lot better. Like I can see that this is pretty slow UDK. Sometimes I see these teams and they have like kind of way too fast UDKs and it's kind of hurting them a bit, but probably now most of the fights like are more like refined in how they build their teams and have good gear. Yeah, that is Harima for you. And he doesn't have like even increased defense buff, but because of like the A2 also doing the A3, and because she gains like increased defense when the fight lasts longer, and she sees my team, like she still can wipe my team even without defense buff. Yeah, Init face not getting any time of day. I might as well hit the UDK because all of this is pointless. Basically, I'm not able to do enough damage until he loses the stone skin, so at this point I'll just save the cooldowns on those skills. I wish there was some kind of like new pity system in this game that maybe once a year or something you can pick a champion that you want. Like maybe you can save tokens from different types of content or whatever, but like once in a year, let's say from the live token shop, you can buy one specific champion that you actually want. Like I think that would go a long way. Like it's still gonna take years to build good teams, but if we were even able to get one good champion per year, it would like it will make this game a lot more fun to me. I wonder what champion I would pick if I could pick one. I would probably still pick Lockout for Classic Arena, but for this content I probably should pick either like Harima or Taras. It's kind of hard choice because I'm still banking on that hopefully I will get Harima at some point, because it's not a Void champion. So maybe I shouldn't pick it, but it is kind of the champion that I do want most for Live Arena. So one of those three definitely I would pick. Maritzka would be maybe like the fourth pick, but it wouldn't be in the top 3. Even though she is very good, but I have bigger like issues. And the issue with his team is that we're not even able to kill this UDK very well, because Maritzka can cleanse the destroyed max HP from both Rotos and Initve, so I'm not really even sure if I can even kill the UDK, because it gets constant buffs and heals, and it has damage reduction from Harima passive and million different things going on, so... Yeah, it's not looking good. I think a lot of these fights are gonna be like me desperately fighting them for 10 minutes and then realizing that I just can't beat these teams. I do like this type of team, like he doesn't even have to use like dodges. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't pick Sifi, but maybe he doesn't have it, or maybe he just knows that he doesn't need the damage increase from Sifi. I don't think if even Rotos crits, I don't think he can kill the UDK, so... And I think Maritzka has his cleanse at this point. Oh, it's not even close, yeah. I can never kill this UDK, basically. That's not good. Because, yeah, the Maritzka is eventually gonna cleanse all of that destroyed HP, so... And Rotos basically can never hit the Harima until the UDK is dead, so... Yeah, there's just not any kind of combination that I could do to beat this team. Like, none of the other champions would do any better against this. I wish I had that revive up. I guess that's probably it for this fight. He's gonna do like A2 on Rotos and then do his A3. And then he's gonna do the A3 again next turn and my Duchess should just die, I think. Rotos is trying to kill the UDK for 10 minutes in a row. Oh, he didn't have the A2 yet. Okay, that's good. Maybe I can stall this a bit longer. I don't think there's any way that I can make a comeback, but I must give it a go. But yeah, I wish I had Harima. I wish so badly I had Harima. This live arena would be so much more fun. I'm kind of like... I'm not really a masochist in real life, but I'm kind of being masochist here, that I'm like hitting my head against the wall and I know that it's not a fair fight and I can't beat this team. And he's probably very frustrated against me as well, that I should have just left the fight in the champion selection and not waste 10 minutes of his time, but I'm gonna waste his time. I mean, if I had 0 chance then I would surrender, but I'm still like living in the hope that maybe there's some kind of RNG way that I can somehow make a miracle win against this fight that doesn't really matter in like long term anyway, so... Yeah, I think even now if Rotos would crit, even though it has lost a lot of his HP, then it wouldn't die because of Harima passive. And if Marichka is gonna soon do his cleanse, and then he's gonna lose all of the destroyed max HP, so... If he didn't have Harima and had some other nuker, and I survived this long, I could definitely, like, totally beat this team, but... This combination is just insane counter against my team. He doesn't even need the Python there, like... He could do this even without the Python totally. But I think if he did have the Siphi instead of Python, or even Mitrala or any other defense buff, he would have won this fight a lot earlier. Nice! Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. There is actually a way that I can beat this fight, and that is if Harima gets polymorphed, and then my Rotos doesn't have the cooldown of A3, that's kind of bad. I wish I used the A2 first. Oh, never mind, I already did the turn after it. Come on, let's get an extra turn. If he got extra turn there, then it might have been possible to one-shot the UDK if I didn't weak hit, and then I could have snowballed from there. Well, I mean, he still does have the Python though, so it's not gonna be easy, but he's making it very, like, annoying for me, so I'm gonna give it my best and and see if there's even a small chance that I can... Now, Initve actually got turn. I think we did like 10 minutes of this fight, and this is the first time that Initve gets turn. I guess he did one turn at the start of the fight when all of them had... Yeah, that's like no damage. He did one turn at the start of the fight when all 3 of these had Stone Skin, and basically did nothing. But at least he now got the turn. Now, come on, Rotos, please, this is my one chance of winning this fight. Please don't weak hit. Please, please, let's get a crit here. I'm pretty sure it will die now, even though it does have strengthen and it's very high HP, but if it doesn't weak hit, nice, nice. Now, what should I do at this point? I should still hit the Marichka. I think it dies. Yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. Too bad my Rotos didn't have enough damage to block Rava. Dude, it will be so funny if I actually win this fight. I will totally make it the thumbnail of the next video if I win this fight. There's no way that I should be able to win this fight. I'm still probably gonna lose. I'm kind of celebrating. But wait, did I block revive on the UDK? I guess Rotos did have enough damage. Well, again, I can't crit on the Harima with Initve because of his passive. So Harima isn't gonna die even though he's very low HP. But I guess we're actually... It almost looks like I'm gonna win this fight. Am I gonna get block revive on Harima now? Oh my god, I wish that was wicked. But I think it's done. I think we won this fight. He doesn't have enough damage to kill my double Duchess tag team without increased defense buff. And I think that's it. I think I got this. I need to post a picture about it in my clan Discord. Okay, good. Yeah, my clanmates are probably gonna roast me for wasting like 15 minutes of this raid guy's time. But if I'm actually winning this fight, then it's the other way around. So they can't complain to me. A few people were saying that I'm basically trolling in the live arena because I'm just fighting against team that I don't have enough damage to beat, and then we're doing like 20-minute fights, and eventually they will win because they have like Harima and UDK against my Rotos who can't finish them. But I guess we kind of got lucky there, and the Harima got polymorphed and he didn't have enough damage to kill my team in time, and we got this. But yeah, I think next time he will probably pick Siphi instead of this Python, and then he will beat me, so. But I did mention before that you definitely want to get polymorph on your, like, that was kind of unfortunate. I can still lose this, by the way. I'm celebrating, but I can totally lose this. But before I mentioned multiple times that getting 1-star polymorph or like 1-star blessing is very cheap. And in live arena there is lots of champions that use like different kind of debuffs that people kind of avoid in live arena because they risk losing fights. But here people take a lot of risks. And nice, we got the revive. Very good. So if you just get 1-star polymorph, it will win you many fights. Like this fight, it was basically one. Okay, it's not one yet. I can still lose this, but it at least gave me a chance to win this fight because I had polymorph. And maybe if he gets polymorphed again, then I will have this fight. But the Harima is kind of being angry against me and fighting very hard. That he did like the ally attack with Marichka, and then Harima also did a turn. Damn it, am I still losing this? I was so happy if I could win this fight. I really wanted to win this fight. Just give it to me. I withstood like 15 minutes of this pain of like banging my head against the wall and complaining about Harima and the champion balance in this game. I think I'm still gonna... No, I got the revive. I just got it in time. Now, does he... He probably can kill the Dacia 7 with A2, so he's gonna do the A3 again. No, that was the A1. Nice. If he had the A2 or A3 there, I think I would have lost the fight. But now I'm good. Now I'm good. I think. Come on, let's get the... No weak hits this time. Wow, that did like no damage to him. This is also not gonna do a lot of damage to anybody because it can't. Maybe I should still hit the Harima even though it's gonna weak it. No, it's not even gonna kill the shield. Yeah. Good job, Initve. You almost did damage. Come on. Stop weak hitting. I want to win this fight so badly. But he's kind of keeping the suspense, and it almost looks like I'm still gonna lose this in the end. I just can't get the finishing hit with Rotos. Fuck. No, oh, nice. So Rotos did A1, and he got counter attack, and then it proc the Rotos passive, but we got the decrease attack on us, so even if we do crit, I'm not sure if we can kill it at this point. Come on, let's get the... No weak hit. Yeah, it's not enough. It would have been if he didn't get that, like, attack down. That's unfortunate. But we're still hanging in here at least for a few turns. Basically, half of this video is gonna be this one fight. Ah, damn it. I'm still gonna lose this fight. Ah, so frustrating. Yeah, no way I can win at this point. God damn it. Harima is too strong. Well, I did try my best and it wasn't quite good enough, but think about this. Imagine if we were both running the same team. Nobody would ever be able to win this fight. Like, that's definitely a major issue in the game balance that they need to fix. Like literally, there would be zero chance for anybody to win this fight if I had the same team. So, like, there is literally nothing else that I could have done here. Maybe I could have used other nuker, but I'm thinking about it. Maybe if I got the polymorph on the Harima at some point, then maybe Brago or Samson could do a bit of damage. Yeah, maybe I will pick Samson next time and not Init, we will see. Yeah, I did some fights earlier today because I was kind of testing that stuff and didn't do it on the video, but let's buy the very expensive refill and do these last couple fights. Yeah, maybe if I used Samson in that fight I could have won. Though I did have like a billion weak hits against Harima, and if any of those weak hits just were crits, then I would have won it, but I couldn't land a crit on that Harima. That was 20-minute fight, nice. But it was still very close. Like, it wasn't just that I was trolling and wasting his time, like, I totally had a chance to win that fight. But yeah, next time he's gonna use Siphi and then I won't stand a chance. I don't think, like, if I use Samson and then he banned my Rotos, I don't think I could ever defeat that team with Samson, so maybe it wouldn't have worked out. Maybe if I use triple nuker. Maybe that would have been the play. Maybe against this team I will this the order of the champions is just so messy and confusing me all the time. Yeah, maybe against this team I will go with triple reviver. I mean, not triple reviver, triple nuker. It's too bad I don't know his champions. Maybe I should go with Python, but let's just go with double Duchess. Yeah, maybe I will try triple nuker again this time. I go with the Samson Brago Rotos combination, but if he does ban the Rotos, then even the two of them, like Brago and Samson, will struggle like very hard to like have enough damage to kill the enemy. Maybe I should use the Ramantu here. Like, he only has one champion in polymorph, so maybe it's worth taking the risk. So maybe I can block the passives of Harima or Leorios. And the last one, I guess we will go with Samson. Yeah, it makes sense. In this fight, since I don't have Nakarada, the Leorios can pretty well like kill my Rotos from like with double hit through his passive. So we are kind of taking a bit of a risk here, but let's see how this goes. We're seeing a lot of these teams that have like very high points and like Harima and like other good champions, so it's getting hard. Do I want to ban the Harima or Ukko? Last time when I was thinking about banning like about these two, I didn't ban Harima and I regretted it a lot, so let's just go with Harima. Oh, he banned the Ramantu, that's interesting. Well, I definitely have enough damage if I just can get turns. Since he don't have Harima, and I have 2 nukers against this team, I think I definitely can kill it, but the Leorios might just one-shot my Rotos. Well, probably not on the first turn, but after Rotos loses his bone armor and shield, he's definitely gonna die to double hits from Leorios, so... Unless, like, much later in the fight when he gets increased max HP, but... Let's see. Nice. Wait, what happened there? I think he got frostbitten by Samson, but then Samson also did a counter attack with his passive, and he had whatever the mastery is called, that has 50% chance to remove 1 buff if you take 25% of your damage, and I think that removed the frostbite that Samson just put on him. What is that mastery called? Resurgent, yeah. But the description is what I said. Can we kill that Ukko? I mean, we can remove his increased defense, so it's possible. Yeah, nice. Well, Sify didn't still... It wasn't even close to dying, but we did get the double hit because we killed the Ukko. Samson didn't quite have enough accuracy to remove the increased defense from either of those two, but I don't really want to build too high accuracy on him, because he might get polymorphed, and his A3 does give him accuracy buff anyway, so I didn't use it yet, that's why. Because I'm saving it to get his A2 cooldown back faster. So if I do whale here, then he can hit anybody in my team. But that's fine, that's fine. I definitely want to give the immunity to my team, so... Rotos might even survive the nuke now, because he has the whale up, so... Maybe not, but... Well, actually definitely not, because Leorios isn't full HP and it does have attack buff, so no way. I'm not sure if he has AoE nuke left or no. I think let's just kill the Sify and then gain some max HP on Duchess, and let's not gamble trying to kill that Ukko. But definitely, when I get the Quintus, like the last fight that I lost to that guy with Harima and those other champions, if I had Quintus, which is like kind of oxymoron, because that's the goal of doing live arena, but if I had Quintus, I definitely would have won that fight. Like, then it wouldn't have even been close, so... I wonder when people get Quintus, how popular is live arena gonna be after that? I think there will probably be like massive decrease in the popularity unless they add something new to it. They should do it, like, if that isn't their plan already, they should definitely like make some kind of seasonal rules or other events in live arena to keep it popular. But maybe that's their plan. Maybe they plan to do some kind of tournaments or other events. That could be kind of fun if they did do it. But yeah, I think this team is not the hardest team, so we can definitely beat this team. He doesn't have like many of those top tier champions, even though it is a pretty good team, but it is with the Leorios and not with Harima, so it is kind of easy for me. Well, I mean, I'm sure I can lose this, but I think very likely I will win. I don't think he has the passive left, so maybe I can even kill his entire team. Like, if I'm able to remove some of these increase defense buffs, it's definitely gonna kill Leorios because he doesn't have passive. So it's gonna double hit and it hits hard. There is a chance that the entire team will die to this nuke. Let's see. Come on, just kill everybody. Nice. That's actually Samson doing some work, but it is ultra mega conditional, and if he had a tankier team, or if he ran Harima, like 99% of the teams that you see at higher ratings will do, then it wouldn't have worked, but it is possible to nuke the enemy team with Samson, so definitely if you have him, it's like worth building up. And maybe you have like two good options. Maybe you have like Harima and Georgit or whatever. But you could also build Samson. Like sometimes you might use him. I don't think he can really kill teams with Harima and Revivers alone. But if you pair him with another nuker, or you pick 3 nukers, or you have something like Ramantu or Ukko in your team or something, then maybe he can even kill those teams. Though my Samson is in pretty good gear, so it's not gonna, like, the damage might look low, but it's gonna be even lower for you probably. So don't get like too like shocked if it's not performing as well. I mean, it depends who you're fighting against, of course, and at this point I'm fighting against pretty good teams, so yeah, let's just Initve just isn't gonna do anything. I need to stop picking Initve against Harima teams. Every time I see Harima team, unless I'm doing the last pick and maybe I know that I'm gonna ban the Harima anyway, which I always can't even if I want to, then I'm not gonna pick Initve. Only if like there is no Harima, because Initve is so much dead weight against her. He can never get rid of her passive because he can't weak hit on her, so otherwise if he could kill her first, then it would be like possible. Maybe I'll go with Ukko against this guy. There's only one, no, there's 2 polymorphs. Let's go with Cardiel and Ukko. No, let's go with it. Let's see how it goes. I was thinking that maybe I should use Python instead, but let's see how this goes. Yeah, so here is the hard choice again, Harima or UDK. But I have learned from my past lessons, and it's definitely time to ban Harima. Now I know that there's no point even think about it. It's insta-ban Harima. Like, only situations where I won't ban Harima is if they have a lockout, and that's only because I'm not able to fight lockout teams if they ban Rotos, so. But maybe that will change in future. The issue in this game is that sometimes you get a lot of progression like in a short amount of time, and sometimes you don't get any progression in like months or maybe even years. Like, it is so RNG to get the good champions that, like, maybe if I play this game for 15 more years and I never get Harima or lockout, it's totally possible, so. But I could get both of them in the same day, so. We have had like some very good fusions in the past year, and I think Windless definitely is a good nuker if you're able to get it at some point. But maybe if they did some good fusion nukers, I really think it's time to make another good fusion nuker. I think I mentioned it in the last video as well, that Rotos was like years ago. It's time to do another strong nuker that is fusion champion. It needs to have like ignore defense mechanic, or some kind of like broken thing like Taras A3, which gets 15% increased damage for each buff in your team, which is total like bonkers. But basically, if it doesn't have ignore defense, it needs to have something other that is insane broken, because otherwise you're not gonna have enough damage in the current like meta. Teams are just so tanky with Harima passive and other damage mitigation that we have, and people running multiple tanky revivers and so on. Let's go with the revive on death, I guess. We can also remove the decrease attack on Rotos. I think that's very important anyway. But I can't complain, like, even though I lost to that guy, like, I'm still doing kind of okay. Like, I'm struggling very hard, but I'm kind of able to like stay above the surface and try to compete against these guys. So I'm still kind of enjoying this. Like, I remember originally I talked about it a lot in my clan and so on, like even like long time ago. I mean, we were always hoping for more PvP content, and we were hoping for clan versus clan CVC, like actual CVC, not whatever the CVC that we have right now. But we were hoping for that and other PvP content. And I mean, they promised last year, Plarium said that it's gonna be the year of PvP, and I guess they postponed it by a year. But we were always waiting for this content, and we had all kinds of speculations about this. And I was always very skeptical, as was like everybody else in my clan, that live arena is not gonna be as fun as some other people think it is gonna be. But I'm kind of having this, like, I'm kind of enjoying it. It's a bit like I said before, I'm banging my head against the wall and saying I like it, which is not something that I usually do, but it is still kind of fun. Wow, this guy is level 91. I have met a bunch of these people that are not even max level that are very high in live arena. It's kind of surprising. But I guess, if I don't recall wrong, I guess all of them had pretty good champions. It is kind of important. I mean, all of them didn't have like super insane champions, but they always had like a couple really top tier champions. We're Yeah, let's go with the tanky dodges and the stun Ukko. And then maybe we will pick 2 nukers here. Or maybe we will go with 3 nukers, we will see. And like triple reviver and 2 nukers or triple nukers. Yeah, well, this is, yeah. Wow, he's level 91 and he has a +4 champion. Even if I can't make any champion on my account +4. And he has +4 Kaimar, like, specifically. Which is kind of not super popular right now, but for resistance Kaimar builds, like, having it at +4 is very good. We're definitely gonna go with Samson. Should we just go with No, I definitely... He's gonna get my team CC'd with Kaimar, so I definitely want to have a second nuker in the team. Let's just go with Samson and double Duchess. Or Python? Python or Duchess? Let's go with Python to mix it up a bit. If this last pick is something like Harima, then I don't think if he bans my Rotos I have enough damage to kill his team, but his team is kind of looking like very offensive and squishy, so... But Harima would be a great last... Oh my god. How does a level 91 has like +4 Rotos and +4 Kaimar? Even if he wailed a lot, I mean... What are the chances of that happening? Wow. But yeah, I have to ban the lockout. It is what it is. Everybody knows. I used to complain about warlords like for many years, and I used to make like posts in like the suggestion channel in the official Discord and this kind of stuff, but they don't listen. I mean, I think Warlord should have been nerfed years ago, and I just think that the lockout mechanic was way too OP. But the way where the game is right now, you kind of need lockout. Like, the game would be way worse if there was no lockout, because many of the teams just wouldn't be able to kill each other's. And of course, I don't have a lockout, so basically I can't kill many teams. But I think actually right now the game does need a lockout. I think it's not a good mechanic, and either it should be like one turn, or it just shouldn't exist. But where the power creep is at right now, it's kind of necessary for the game. So, but before Taras and Maritzka, like, don't worry, I used to complain about Warlord for many years. So I used to try to get Warlord nerfed, and many people might not even know this, but I think it's maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, probably like 3 years ago at this point. But Warlord was actually buffed at one point, and it's not like he wasn't popular at that time. That time the meta was very different, and he was most certainly the best champion in the game for Arena, like by far. Like, right now there's many other champions that are like competing for it and probably better, but back then it was definitely the best champion in the game, and they reduced the cooldown on like his lockout by 1 turn. And we always used to make the joke that somebody from the Plarium probably pulled like Warlord that week, because there is no sane reason why they would buff him, but they did do it. So, but they should revert that buff, and they should nerf him and Yumeko, or like all of the lockout champions. But at this point of the game, there is much bigger balancing issues than lockout, and like I said, we almost need the lockout in this game because the teams are getting so tanky that otherwise it's like, if they ban lockouts, then we're gonna have like 5-minute fights in Arena. So I guess we did win against this guy. I mean, it does make sense. He has very good champions, but he's a level 91, so surely I have like way better gear than him, I assume. Even if he like did buy some gear backs, I mean, I've been farming the gear for a long time, so he would have to buy a lot of gear backs in order to like get to my level. And definitely his gear wasn't like insane. So at least we got 1 win, but I don't really feel good about this win because he's level 91, so I mean, he was higher points than me, so he's like basically better than me, but anyway. I thought that I would mostly meet the same players all the time, but I am meeting all kinds of people that I don't recall like seeing before, so it is kind of interesting. I think at some point it might get a bit weird if everybody knows what champions like each others have, but oh, I forgot that I was meant to use the tanky Duchess. Well, actually, maybe against this team it was a good choice. Maybe I will pick Initve again, depending what else he is. By the way, again we have a guy with 2+4 champions. Holy moly. Well, okay, so Samson is definitely not gonna be good against this guy, because he's weak affinity, and that rules a lot of options out. Now we're left to like Ramantu and Leorios. Maybe I will use both of them. We will definitely go with our own Rotos, and probably not Ukko because he has Siphi. Maybe we'll go with... No, let's not go with Python. I definitely want to get attack buff with those champions, so let's go with double Duchess. But maybe our last 2 picks will be Initve and Ramantu. It's probably down between them and UDK. UDK is another possible choice. Okay, so... Okay, now this is just getting ridiculous. He has 4 champions at +4. And they are all of these, like, you know, stable of Arena champions. Yeah, I'm sure, I guess there is many whales in this game that I haven't met before. Like, seriously. We're definitely going to use Initve, but the issue is that if I pick UDK, he's gonna pick something that is good against UDK. He definitely has it with these champions. And I do have to ban the Warlord, so I can't ban his last pick, so... Let's go with this, and let's go with Ramantu. Maybe we can catch him off guard with the nuke Ramantu. It can definitely kill the Rotos if it gets a turn, so... Of course. I'm almost surprised that the Georgid isn't +4, like... What is this guy doing? He's using a champion that isn't even empowered like the rest of us plebs. He should just play, I'm sure he has many other +4 champions. He should just play with a full +4 team to like flex against the enemies that he meets. Yeah, there's no Necret, so Initve is definitely gonna get one banked. But if I do get a turn with Initve, then I can win this, but Duchesses are not gonna revive my team with turn meter, and he has like double turn meter boost, so I'm not really sure if I'm even gonna get any turns against this guy. He's just totally like outskilling me in this point, so it is what it is. Nice, nice. I will take that, but now I'm kind of gonna waste the revive because the Georgid is gonna AoE nuke anyway. Let's do the A2 and let's give Ramantu the attack buff. Yeah, I kind of maybe that wasn't a smart choice to save the revive, but I did it. I will probably pay the consequences. His champions do look kind of squishy, but I'm not really sure if this Ramantu can kill them with A3 because, as you saw, I didn't build him in lethal. He wouldn't have survived if he was lethal. He's in stone skin, so he is not gonna hit that hard, but maybe he can kill. I don't think he knows that it's a nuke Ramantu. Like, he would expect it to be like a support Ramantu, but it was actually a nuke build. Fuck, it's probably lost anyway because of the sleep. I thought that the Rotos was gonna hit the Duchess once, but it didn't, and I guess it's lost at this point. He's just gonna outspeed me and sleep my team, and I'm not gonna get any turns. Yeah, that didn't do a lot of damage, but he probably hasn't been buying gear but champions instead, so it is what it is. Yeah, and Rotos is gonna move again before Duchess, I guess. Yeah, because he has so much turn meter boost. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't really have anything to say about that fight. Maybe I should use this as the thumbnail of this video instead of the fight that I almost thought that I was gonna win, but I didn't win. Yeah, let's use that one. I don't, like, of course, I can't remember everybody's name, but I don't even recall that guy from Arena, but I almost think that I should remember a guy like that with so many +4 champions, but I don't remember him, and he didn't have even the Platinum avatar, which is kind of weird, but maybe he just has it and he isn't using it. Surely he must have it, I mean. That's a lot of +4 champions. And okay, don't get me started. Like, of course, Empowerment was one of the worst updates in the game history. Like, it's definitely the worst update by far. Like, the arena would be so much more competitive if they never made Empowerment. And in our clan as well, so many players quit the game because of Empowerments. Like, there would be... I don't think it probably really affects the total population of the game, but there would be way more like top arena players that used to be very competitive that wouldn't have quit the game, but they quit specifically because of Empowerment, and it was like a step too much for everybody. And yeah, our clan had like very big exodus, and many of the like main members of our clan quit. Like, I guess it was already like 2 years ago at this point. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay, at least this guy only has +0, like Taras and Marichka, it isn't +4, so maybe I do have a chance against him. By the way, today I haven't been using a lot of Necret. I'm not really sure if that's... Well, I don't think the Necret pick hasn't really been the main issue why I have been losing the fights. Some of the fights I definitely should have picked different team, but I don't think I would have picked Necret. Fuck, do I have time? Let's go with the Ramantu. Both of these are in... I don't even remember what's the actual name of this. Brimstone, yeah, Brimstone. But I don't know why they are in Brimstone, like, is he actually using them in like Hydra or something? I don't know. Or is he just trolling, but in either case, they aren't in Polymorph, so I think Ramantu definitely makes sense. Though if both of these, or if they are very good geared, they're just gonna kill Ramantu through Stone Skin. But even if they are not, which probably they are not, but if both of them go before Ramantu, then surely it will die before it gets a turn. And in this, now I'm definitely not gonna use Necret because it will protect the Ramantu and it will kind of go to waste. Let's go with Ukko, yeah. No, let's go with, not Ukko. Let's go with the fast Duchess. No, let's go with Ukko. Yeah, I was thinking that maybe I want the fast Duchess for Ramantu, but this team is so tanky that it's not gonna do any damage anyway, so the main thing is to try to block the passives of his, like, multiple Taras and Marichka. Maybe even Necret. All of them have, like, very good passives, so Ramantu is a good choice here. I wonder how many fights did I actually win in this video. Not many. UDK. I mean, I could just ban Marichka here, which would be kind of funny, but I would have very hard time killing those Tarases through UDK and Necret. If I just ban one of them, he will have very hard time killing my team, though. Yeah, let's ban it. I don't think he has very good gear because of this, like, he's using Brimstone, so... I don't think he's like... He's probably more like PvE type of player than PvP, so... Maybe we have a chance against this team. I did bring my tanky Duchess, and it was the good choice. With this kind of ban, it was definitely better to use him, since I didn't, like, I let him go with UDK. The squishy and fast Duchess would have died eventually, but this one can stay alive way longer, and maybe I can keep my team alive long enough to actually do some damage through this UDK. I basically need to wait for his passive to run out, so it is what it is. Maybe Ramantu can actually kill his Marichka. Probably not, but maybe. We will see. Yeah, okay, no, he got the glance. No way, I think. Maybe I should use it on Taras instead, I'm thinking. It will probably not kill either one of them anyway, so... Probably it doesn't really matter. Let's just do the A2 so that we don't get extra turn. Because he's about to lose the buff. I think this UDK is kind of in a fast build. I don't think it's a 0 speed UDK, so... Okay, so it hits 4 times. This Marichka is kind of low HP, but I don't think I will have enough damage to kill it, so... Should I hit Taras instead? Taras would lose the pass. Okay, let's try Taras. Let's try Taras. I don't think either one will die, yeah. But maybe this will do some good. If Rotos can get a turn, then he can definitely easily one-shot the Taras even with A1 at this point, but he does have the Necret protecting the UDK, so it's not gonna be easy, but it's also very squishy UDK. It's not very like tanky build, so I guess the Ramantu might be able to reduce the cooldowns of my teams. It might be good in some kind of these very long fights that I have. But I think because we banned the other Taras, and because he doesn't have very good gear, we will beat this team. I don't think he really has enough damage to kill us, so maybe this Taras isn't even built in lethal. I'm not sure, but well, it's still gonna be close, but we will see. Necret would be kind of good here. If I had Necret or another tanky reviver, he definitely couldn't kill me, but now it's still kind of gonna be close. But I only need to survive a bit longer and we will get there. And this Ramantu is in fast build. I think he's like 240 speed. That's why he doesn't do a lot of damage, because he's in 6p stone skin with accuracy and 240 speed. So there isn't a lot room left for damage, but he has like very good gear. So we were able to rotate his cooldown a bit faster. Though him getting one-shotted there isn't great. And too bad I didn't get the Necret passive blocked. That would have been very important. Am I still gonna lose this? It kind of looks bad, to be honest. But yeah, at this point I'm not really stomping anybody. All of these fights are like super close and maybe I win, or maybe I get like completely owned by them, but no fight am I completely owning them at this point, so... Okay, that was pretty clutch stun. Did I actually stun his entire team? I don't think that has ever happened to me before. I wonder what the chance is to do it. Like, of course, my Ukko is in fearsome presence, but to 4 champions at the same time, it must be pretty low. We probably kind of needed it. It came at a good time as well. I'm not really sure if I want to even revive the Ramantu, or should I just try to fish for more stuns, but let's go with the revive. We will also get the increased defense, so... Damn. If I just can survive a few more turns and he loses the Necret protection, then maybe I can beat this fight. The Stone Skin Nuke Ramantu, I guess, kind of confused him a lot. Like, it's kind of doing some work here, even though it's still very intense and close, but it was actually very important for this. So this one blocks buffs, not passives, and he does have immunity. Maybe I should wait for 1 turn so that I can put this on UDK. I'm not really sure if he's gonna survive 1 turn, but if I can, then I will use it on the UDK. Come on, no weak hits. Okay, good. We got some max HP. Though I'm not really sure if this Duchess is gonna get another revive off. It's kind of low HP and it's the beginning of the end. Well, it has been a pretty fun session. Like, I guess I have gotten a lot of dopamine from these fights because they have been so hectic, but I wish I won that one fight. I feel like I almost deserved to win that one fight. The 20-minute fight against the Harima. Yeah, it... Fuck. I didn't remember that maybe it got resisted at the start of the fight. This is only like 300 something accuracy, so... That is expected to happen. I guess that's... I mean, obviously, that's why his UDK is so squishy, is because it's in a resistance build. Oh damn it, that provoke was very bad timing. Like, he would have definitely died to the A2 if it didn't weak it. But now I'm not really sure if it's... Or it's definitely not gonna die to the A1. Not with all of these heals and shields. It might not even break that shield with A1 alone. But yeah, Ramantu is very fast, so he's kind of doing a lot of work here. He's kind of the unsung hero in this team, that he keeps getting like killed and he's not really doing any damage, and sometimes UDK is completely resisting him, but he's still kind of putting in some work. And definitely if this guy just had better gear, then this fight would have been long over, but I guess his other Ramantu had his better gear, and I of course specifically banned the one that had higher blessing in order for maybe this to happen. So come on, okay, that's it. If it didn't die there, then maybe I wouldn't have killed his Marichka and I would have just killed Taras, and I could have probably made a comeback, but I think at this point it's basically lost. If Taras didn't have Necret passive, then maybe, but I probably can kill the Necret here, but I think that's about it. Oh shit, I didn't do the A3. That was my bad. Anyway, I trolled the fight. If I did A3, it would have definitely died, but some reason the button didn't register and it only did A1. Well, it probably would have been lost anyway, so... And I guess that's it for today's fights. I had a lot of losses and it was very frustrating at times, but I knew this from the get-go that this is gonna be a very painful experience, and I do want to get the Quintus on my account, so I'm prepared to take the pounding and hit myself, like hit my head against the wall against these teams. Yeah, out of these people on the top, I pretty much know all of them or know their names, but those people that I was fighting before, I didn't really recognize many of these. Yeah, I don't really know any of them, no. That's why I was kind of surprised, because earlier today when I did a bit of testing, most of the people that I was fighting, I knew them, but these people I didn't really know, so... Let me quickly show the builds in the end, if you're curious. Like, of course, these didn't like completely work, and it's not gonna be solution for everything. But if you fight in the lower tiers, then maybe here's some food for thought. So the Ramantu build that I was using wasn't actually like a lethal build. It is a nuke build, but in stone skin. And the reason I did this build is because if I were to use him in lethal, then basically he would always need to have a Necret in the team, or he would always die to everything. But here he is like a secondary nuker. I'm not gonna use him in any teams where he is the second nuker in my team. I'm only gonna use him if I have two other nukers and he's the third nuker. So he's kind of 50-50 a nuker and a support. He's not really like a nuker that can kill targets. But even in this build, if he does his A2 against a Rotos, then he can definitely still kill it. And maybe some weak Rotoses he might even be able to kill with his A3. And he will block the passives, which was kind of the main reason I was using him as like a counter to something like Rotos or Harima or Taras and all of these champions with very good passive abilities. And yeah, Samson was in the Arix build, like the exact same build. Arix is basically naked right now. but he's in like lethal and frostbite, which is kind of good set with like fairly good gear. Some of the gear is very good, some of them is like so and so, but overall it's very good set. Though it doesn't have like cruel 2-piece, which does add a very big amount of damage from the ignore defense. But the frostbite like might sometimes still be useful, and having the 20% crit damage on this Ascension and all of the good substats just makes it a better build on my account than if I were to use like a cruel 2-piece set. Like there is one set that I could do which is better than this, and it basically it involves like a broken set, or like using some protection pieces with like basically like penta rolls because of the mythical pieces, but it would have been slightly more damage, but of course I go with the item set instead. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely calculate all of this with Hell Hades Optimizer, and you can see from there what are the like options. Hopefully at some point I get like a very good fitting cruel 2-piece on like my HP nuker set. But even this set with frostbite, it is pretty good. The bigger issue is the champion. Like if this was a Taras, then it definitely would have enough damage, but Samson is kind of okay, but not quite like Taras. Then this is what I was running on Brago. Basically a similar build, except this one is a bit more faster build. And I kind of need to clip this a bit more, like there's a decent amount of speed to gain in these gears, and maybe I should like even the defense, like I guess I have one clip left. Okay. It was wasted. Anyway, I'm definitely gonna use this set at some point, so I should clip this better. I just haven't used defense nuker sets ever because I don't have any good defense nukers. But for now, this is what I have. But okay, I need to ask Ken that as well, but it's a decent set. It's more like the champion just doesn't really have the kind of skill set to wipe these super tanky teams in the current meta. But he was kind of decent, and he was useful in some fights. And I think that's about it for my new champions. Everybody else was in old builds that I have shown many times before. Yeah, I think that's about it. Anyway, that's it for today's video, and see you next time.